Your Selfies. My name is Mads. Welcome back to the Chief of Self podcast. I am so giddy that you are here. There have been these little tweaks that I've made to my overall wellness routines. I'm talking morning, I'm talking night, and I just want to share them with you. But again, as I always say before I give recommendations for routines or give out supplement, recommendations and things like that, I always preface that every person is different, okay? These are trial and error things. These are things that you can try for a little consistent time. If it works for you, fabulous. If it doesn't, drop it, okay? We get so overwhelmed with creating the perfect morning routine, and then we hear someone else talk about how they've incorporated, collagen into their coffee, and then we need to do that. Deep breaths, deep breaths. I am so with you on that, and I understand that it can get so overwhelming when there are so many opinions and people are telling you what's worked for them. And what I've noticed with myself is I just really take each person's recommendation and see where it fits in my body, see where it lands, and if it's something that I want to experiment with, if that feels like it could really solve a specific issue that I'm dealing with, fabulous, let's try it out, right? You obviously need to be a little consistent with these types of routines, or else you're not going to see any benefits and you're going to be like, what the fuck? Why am I doing tongue scraping every morning and I'm not understanding what's going on here? So I, though, have really been so consistent with my morning and night routines lately, and my morning routine, that's been on lock for a very, very long time. It's one of the most proudest things I am of myself. Did that sentence not make sense? I'm very proud of my morning routine. It's something that has evolved, that I've added to over the years, that I've subtracted from. It's again, very ever evolving, but I feel like I'm in a really good spot with it. And so I wanted to share these little tweaks that I've made that I really have noticed a difference. And also to my night routine. The night routine, I need a little help, okay? I'm not as jazzed about the night routine. I am a morning person through and through. So I'm so fucking amped right now to do my morning routine. I'm so excited. It gives me the best foundation for the day. But the night routine, I need to make it a little more irresistible. I need to make it more fun for me, because right now it's not as autopilot as I would like, but these tweaks have helped me a little bit to get there. All right, let's start with electrolytes and hydration. So this is not a new tweak, but I just have been so consistent with it. I've been taking Body Health's Perfect Aminos electrolytes version for about a year now. I started it when I was working with a nutritionist, and I didn't really understand. I drink a shit ton of water to a degree where I'm like, am I drinking too much water? I drink so much, but electrolytes are necessary for any person, and it's this up-leveling of your hydration. You're not getting enough electrolytes just from your water. So first thing I do is I drink the Perfect Aminos electrolytes, because not only are you getting the electrolytes, but then you're also getting the Perfect Aminos. It basically contributes to energy, mental clarity, recovery, and I have noticed such a big difference. If I travel and I don't bring it with me, I do notice a difference. I have the watermelon flavor. It's my favorite, and it tastes so yummy, but it has no sugar and all that junk. And so that's the first thing I drink in the morning, and it just sets me up for success. I also learned more about amino acids and perfect aminos from Gary Brecka. He was on the Skinny Confidential podcast, I want to say last year. It is, to this day, one of the most influential podcast episodes I've ever listened to. I think about it, I reference it. He is so clear and knowledgeable about the different supplements and things, especially women need in their diets. And so the electrolytes was a huge one. And then this ingredient called folate, which again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this, I would listen to the episode to really learn more about it, but that it's folate or something. That's also something that when you're trying to get pregnant is very, very important. So if you look into any prenatal vitamins, they'll have that ingredient, but he literally lists out the exact ingredients and supplements that every woman should be taking, especially right in the morning to set you up for success. And if you're someone that works out in the morning like me, he kind of breaks down that like you really, really need these supplements in the morning because your body working out on empty is just like really detrimental to your body and not actually getting the full benefits of your workout. Next is red light therapy. So we've all seen the red light masks on Instagram, all of the girlies sitting on their couch with their red light masks. And listen, I was first introduced to red light when I sauna'd a lot, and I still do sauna a lot at pause. I don't do it as frequently, but I love a sauna and I love infrared sauna. And again, I really, really noticed a difference in my skin, in my bloating and inflammation, especially when I sauna'd. And I just wanted to bring that red light into just kind of my daily routine because I really didn't have it. I was doing it once a week, and with the red light mask, I do it every day. I have seen a notable difference in the glow of my skin. I mean, if you've ever gotten a facial, like they do the red light on you because it's so incredible for like elasticity and the glow of your skin and all this, and to kill bacteria, I believe. So I just do it in the mornings. I honestly have been doing it while meditating. So habit stacking is our friend. And I meditate for, around like 12 to 15 minutes. And the red light mask like has that timer on. So it's kind of the perfect thing. And I just do it while I meditate. So I'm habit stacking. You can also do it while you're watching TV, while you're doing the dishes. Like it's so easy to put on and just like do anything else around the house. All right. So this is something obviously I've done for quite a bit, but I've been doing it way more consistently recently. Like I don't miss a day, is making my bed in the morning. And again, I know people are going to probably eye roll and be like, nah, it's like really like making your bed in the morning. Like, is that going to do anything? It's a couple things. One, there's this like psychological signal of completion. Like you're completing a task, you're completing a chore. There's the phenomenon of delayed gratification, or like a dopamine detox. So right when you wake up, doing a chore like that, like laundry, cleaning up, making your bed, it just allows you to delay that gratification. It teaches that in your brain. But I actually do it for another reason, and it's for my future self. I love nothing more than to get into bed when my bed is made. I don't know what it is, and I'm sure you probably experience this too. Like going to bed is so much more nicer. Like it's such a more pleasant experience when your bed is made, and it just feels clean, it feels beautiful, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna like be a little princess and go into my bed. When it's messy, when it's unmade, I don't know, there's just something that just icks me out, and I don't feel as like prepared to sleep. So I do it for my future self. And a lot of these routines and things are all for your future self. And whenever I'm confronted with like a decision or anything where I'm like, should I do this or not? I just always think of my future self. Like, what would my future self be so thankful that I did right now? All right, so this is a new one. I have been drinking bone broth in the morning before my matcha. So we all know that drinking caffeine on an empty stomach, bad for us, boo, boo, boo. Spikes the cortisol, nervous system is like completely deregulated from the beginning of the day, not good. Now, I always will drink the perfect aminos. I have like 15 different drinks in the morning. It's like a whole situation. I have the perfect aminos, and then I have warm water with lemon. Now, I used to be I'm drinking coffee on an empty stomach girl. It was the only thing that made me poop, so I really did not want to fuck with it. I have a very, very sensitive digestion system. So I was like, I'm going to drink coffee. I worked with this nutritionist. She said, please just try warm water with lemon. I literally laughed in her face. She said, please do it for 3 days, just 3 days. And let's see, if you really don't poop, then we can like figure something else out. And the first 2 days I did not poop. Third day, pooped, and have pooped ever since. Okay. So it does work. There is a little period where you're going to have to be constipated for a little bit. Your body has to adjust. But I now only drink warm water with lemon right when I wake up. And then lately I have been having like my matcha right after that, which is not the best. Okay. Because you're still kind of on an empty stomach. Like there really isn't food in your body. And like most of us, we're not so hungry. I wake up at 5 a.m. Like I'm not hungry at 5 a.m. So I have been doing bone broth before the matcha, just to get a little protein in, just to get a little something on the belly before I drink the caffeine. And my favorite brand is Picora. It's my friend Anna's brand. It is so amazing. You guys have heard me talk about the cocoa bone broth that she has. I drink it every night. It is my dessert. It is so delicious. And she also has obviously like a chicken and a beef bone broth. And so you can order on Amazon, you can order on her website, super easy. It's powdered bone broth. So you put it into a cup and then you add hot water, mix it up, you're done. Okay. It's so easy. And at first I was like, I don't really like to have savory things in the morning, but now I don't really even notice it. I've been doing it for a week and I really do feel a difference that my body just feels a lot more regulated without having that like crazy caffeine spike when I have my matcha. So I've been doing the bone broth before matcha. And then talking about matcha, I just got into this routine the past couple weeks of drinking like 4 matchas a day. And, I'm out and about a lot for my job for Camber, and I just always want like a little treat, right? I'm going out to these coffee dates or I'm, out and about and I just want to get like something in between. And I always would just get a matcha. And while matcha, I believe, is a better alternative to coffee, at least just for me, like I have a sensitive tummy and matcha just works better with my body, it still has a lot of caffeine, okay? It's like still can make you very jittery, and I crash so hard, and it's just not good to have that much caffeine, right? Like I don't need that much caffeine. If there were ever a decaf matcha, oh my God, I would be drinking it all fucking day. You have no idea. Ugh, I wish, but we don't have that. And also that's the opposite of what matcha is. Like you can't have a decaf green tea, or maybe you can. I need to look this up, but it's not what it's meant for. So I'm trying to find a different alternative, something that still gives me that like energy and mood boost, but doesn't have caffeine. And just regular tea to me is not as exciting to drink during the day. I also always need to have a fun drinky drink at all times. I don't know. That might be just like an addictive thing, and I just like think I have to have it in order to work better. Not true. These are lies we tell ourselves, but it makes the workday fun to have a little drinky drink. But I also don't want to have 4 matchas a day. So I've been experimenting with a couple things. Having spearmint tea if I'm at a like lunch, a work lunch or something. I'll do like hot water with lemon or spearmint tea, peppermint tea. And then I'm obsessed with the Four Sigmatic focus powder. So I actually put that in my matcha every morning, and it has all the like functional mushrooms. It literally makes me feel high. It's this laser focus and boosts your mood like no other. But you can have it, I guess, alone. But I actually just ordered another Four Sigmatic one that's just about mood. So it has no caffeine, but it kind of like elevates your mood. And it's powdered again, so it doesn't have that like watery tea feel. It's gonna feel a little more substantial. Like that's what I need. I need like a little more substance. So I'm gonna try that out and I will let you guys know. But yeah, limiting the caffeine. It's so hard. It's really hard because it's really fun to drink matcha all day, but I know it's not good for me. I also like to shift it away from boundaries, feeling more like support rather than punishment, because when we put these boundaries in place or restrictions, it could seem like there's a lack, like we're punishing ourselves, like we're doing something bad. But if you really just look at it and you shift to be like, okay, I used to have this belief. This is a boundary that's about to support me, that's going to support my future self, and I love my future self, and I'm ready to show up for her. That's the shift you have to make, instead of it being like, ugh, I don't get to have my matcha all day, right? And so we can get into that cycle and really just catching and monitoring our thoughts to shift from boundaries equals support, not punishment. All right, so I know in a previous episode I talked a lot about journaling. I'm the biggest journaling advocate, and lately I have been using the Form journal. So they came out with a journal that is so fabulous. Like I just love all the prompts, and I get so excited to fill it out every single morning. I typically am like a free write journal person. So if you're new to journaling, this is the perfect thing because it literally has prompts. It's so easy to fill out and you just feel so good. It has you reflect on the day before, what you learned, what you're proud of. Then it has you check in with your body. What does your body need today? What's on your mind? What is like one action you can take to service that? And then you look ahead ahead, you look to gratitude, and you look ahead to your day ahead. It is just something about it feels so grounding, so nourishing. It makes me so giddy to start the day every morning. So I've been thoroughly enjoying this journal practice. It sets me up in such a positive way. So if you're new to journaling, this is definitely something that you should look into. All right, so I mentioned tongue scraping. Now, listen, overall, I just haven't had the greatest oral hygiene. I'm not trying to say I'm disgusting. I think teeth are so high maintenance for how small they are of our whole body. They make up 1% of our fucking body, but we have to go to the dentist. We have to brush twice a day. We have to floss. We have to do it. Is so crazy how high maintenance there are. And I just never cared. I brushed my teeth and that's it. And I was just I can't be giving too much into this. But I have recently, and I've heard it time and time again, that digestion actually starts in your mouth. It starts with your oral health. And I've been really trying to better my digestion and get it back on track. So I'm just trying to figure out ways to make my oral health better. So a couple things. I started tongue scraping. And again, this is just a habit. Like anything, you have to make it super easy. I put the tongue scraper right there on the counter when I go to the bathroom, right when I wake up. So I just tongue scrape super easily. What this does, apparently there's a bunch of bacteria that builds up on your tongue while you're sleeping. And then when you go to drink a glass of water right when you wake up, you swallow all that bad bacteria. And so tongue scraping gets it off before you drink your water. So again, it's much better for digestion. I remember that this nutritionist told me your stomach doesn't have teeth. So this is something about eating food. You have to chew to mush, because if you are swallowing your food whole, your stomach does not have teeth to bite it down and to get it into smaller pieces and to digest it properly. So really a lot of our digestion happens in the mouth, and it's kind of extraordinary. And I've been having this revelation that I need to just take better care of my mouth. So yes, I also got a Surrey toothbrush, which I got that for Hanukkah, and I'm utterly obsessed. It makes me excited to brush my teeth, which is also something. Invest in a good toothbrush that makes you excited to brush your teeth. It's also so aesthetic and so cute. I have it on my mirror. Again, when it's a new habit, it's a new routine you're trying to implement, you have to make it irresistible. You have to make it easy, and you have to make it aesthetic, in my opinion, so that you will want to do it. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about hormone balancers. So I was on spironolactone for about 6 months, and that was for my hormonal acne. It completely got rid of my hormonal acne, which is fabulous. Now, I am thinking about having children soon. We're preparing the body. So you cannot be on spironolactone when you are trying to get pregnant. So I went off spironolactone about a month ago, and I was so nervous because I really didn't want to have hormonal acne again. But what I noticed is I've been taking 2 supplements. One is the Parallel Hormonal Balance supplement, and then also Array's new product called inositol. So inositol is an ingredient that apparently no one is talking about, but all these, it's been known to help with hormone balance for years, but just not really an ingredient that's talked about. So I've been taking that one. It's a little pixie stick. It tastes so good. It's a little sweet treat. And then the Parallel ones I take in the morning along with all my other supplements. I really don't, again, I'm weary of introducing so many supplements all the time, because I was once taking so many, and I'm more simplify. Really all I take in the morning is Seed, my probiotic that I have been using forever, and it literally is the only thing that will make me poop. Seed and the Parallel Hormone Balance, and now I'm doing Rituals Prenatal Vitamin. And then the inositol I'll take after breakfast, and in the nighttime I take Array's constipation pills. I've been taking those for years. It is I have an Amazon subscription. That's the only thing I have an Amazon subscription for, okay? And I can't go to bed without it. I can't travel without it. It is necessary for me. I used to take magnesium, and I need to find another brand that I like or something, because I think I was taking Thorn or one of those, and I don't know. I didn't really see that much of a difference, but I do know that magnesium is great for digestion, great for going to the bathroom, and also for relaxation before bed. So I'm definitely in the market for a new magnesium. Array's apparently is also really good, so I'm going to look into that. But yeah, hormone balancers, I have not, since taking the parallel hormone balance and arrays and inositol, I have not had a breakout. And I'm about to get my period. I usually break out right before my period, hormonal acne up the wazoo, nothing. Okay. I mean, knock on wood, nothing, which is nuts. And I feel so grateful. And maybe, I don't know, I'm not trying to jinx it, but I really am so happy that I think going off spironolactone, these two things like helped my hormones not go like crazy out of whack. Okay, so now we're going into the night routine. There's not as many, but it's still something I'm figuring out and perfecting. But there are two things that I've added that have really, really helped. So I definitely always 100% put my phone in another room. I've been doing this for years. If you do not do this, like please, 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 please try it. If this is honestly one tip and tweak from this whole list is putting your phone in another room before you go to bed. Please, like it will change everything. You'll notice like an insane shift. Anyways, so that I do automatically. But I typically go on my computer to fall asleep, and I watch TV on my computer to fall asleep. Now, I used to do this when I was a kid. I used to do this, all throughout my 20s. And there were periods where I would stop and start and whatever. And then I honestly started to get reliant on it and make sure, I have to watch something before I go to bed, or I immediately fall asleep like that if I'm watching something. So something obviously light and fun. I typically like rewatch Gilmore Girls or something like that. Now, this has been the one routine and thing in my night routine that I've been so hesitant to take away, because I got really honest with myself and I said, what am I afraid of? Okay, one, I'm afraid of my being alone with my thoughts, which like, I'm sorry, that's not a good enough excuse. And also, I've done so much work to be able to be alone with my thoughts. So why does it scare me at night to be alone? I don't know. So that was my first realization. And then two, I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to fall asleep as quickly. And I don't want to be up and tossing and turning and just like ruminating on things and overthinking. Okay. So those are valid concerns. And I say thank you to myself for bringing up that resistance, bringing up those concerns. Those are valid concerns. Let's try it. Okay. So I read before bed, which I always do, but then I would just like put up the laptop and fall asleep. Now I read before bed, I get really, really tired. I turn off, the lights and I lay my head down, and I just tried it for one night. So let me just see if it takes me a long time, then I'll watch TV, right? And then go to sleep. But I went to sleep right away. I fell asleep right away. And also I noticed that my brain wasn't super active, because I let myself wind down, right? Taking the phone in the other room, no screens. Like your brain suddenly is in that state of, oh, it's time to sleep. And although the TV show helps me to sleep, I still was having that activation and the screens, and just I knew it didn't feel good. So for the past week, I have not watch TV to go to bed, which has been, I haven't done that in years, which is crazy. And I feel really good. Like, I feel like I'm sleeping better. I'm sleeping deeper. Like I know I said I hate the tracking on my Aura ring, but I have noticed that like I get more deep sleep, which is nuts. And I always have a white noise machine, so it's not like completely quiet. And yeah, so if there's something like that where you have screens before bed and you just can't stop because you're afraid of your thoughts, like just try it for even 20 minutes. And if you really can't fall asleep, okay, then you can bring the phone, or don't bring the phone, but bring a TV or whatever. But I'm just such a proponent of, if you're experiencing that resistance, like your thoughts are lying to yourself. Like you can do it. You just have to be aware of the thought and be like, okay, thank you. We're going to do it anyways. Like, thank you for your fears. Thank you for your concern. We're doing it anyway, because our future self will thank us. All right. Last thing that I have been doing is the Dr. Stolberg Rest and Digest tea. So this is a tea that I have been seeing everywhere. Everyone has been talking about it. I keep seeing it. I don't know if it's just like the LA of it all, but I keep seeing it in like every boutique grocery store and cute workout studio and stuff. And it's this bright yellow box. And I don't really love color, so I was a little hesitant, but it's very aesthetic. And, at first, again, I am skeptical of de-bloating things, because I do believe that my bloating comes from overeating or like emotional things and nervous system regulation, which I need to do a whole other episode about because I'm learning so much about that. But as we are bloating, because the bloating is very real and the bloating is very disruptive in our day, there are things that can aid it and help bring it down, right? So I've never really had that great experience with teas. I typically will drink like peppermint tea before going to bed. People say that, that works for them. I just haven't really experienced that much. So I've been starting to drink this tea, and I'm also going to be doing their 60-day reset where I drink it in the morning and the night. So I'm going to drink it like after lunch, actually. I'm going to do it after like a meal. It's such a beautiful ritual. One, it has like coriander and cumin. It's just different ingredients than I'm used to in a debloating tea. Like typically it's peppermint or like dandelion root or things like that. This just feels like so different. It's so calming and soothing. I also just have become obsessed with the founder and started following her on Instagram, and she is this acupuncturist in LA. I really, really want to go to her in person. That would be a dream. And I've just been really drawn to this tea. And yes, it does make me feel great after eating like a bigger meal. And I do find myself like deflating a little bit before the nighttime. Again, I need to do it more consistently. Like I'm going to do the twice a day and really document the experience. But I just love it because it's also a transition piece for me in the nighttime. Like I suffer from overeating and binge, like a binging disorder. So to me, the tea is like a signal that the kitchen is closed. Like that's the end of the night, right? When I have the tea, there's no more food after that. Like I've eaten dinner, I've eaten my little dates, and I've had my little sweet treat, and this is my end of the night. And I really love that marker, and it signals to my brain like, okay, kitchen's closed, like no more. So those are my little tweaks that I've made to my morning and night routines. And I really have been feeling this holistic, like overarching sense of well-being. And my biggest goal is to be radiant, like to be beaming from the inside out. And through all these like supplements and little tweaks, I just feel as though I'm getting there, where there's this like inner glow, there's this inner radiance. I just think that's like the sexiest thing that a woman and that you and I can achieve and put out there. And so all these little tweaks, and whether it's things to support our hormones, or it's, things for our skin like the red light, or even just like mental things like making your bed every morning, these things all add up. And again, they're so micro, but that's where the change lies. I've never done a sweeping big change and had it like change my whole life and overhaul it. Like it's all these micro things that then like you're not going to see changes in like maybe the first couple weeks, but you have to believe and continue, because then like all at once everything changes. It's very strange. And I've experienced that tons and tons of times with a routine that I'm very consistent with. And you'll not really feel anything in the beginning. You'll be like, oh, what the fuck is like, I want to give up, but push through that resistance. And then suddenly you wake up and you're like, I am energized. My mood is so high and elevated and boosted. I have this mental clarity. I'm not as like drained and exhausted by certain tasks. Like I have this giddiness and zest for life. Like there's just you notice these things. And I want to make a whole other episode about this as well. Like little things you'll notice that mean that you're successful in your healing. So let me give an example. Like all these things I do, like all these wellness practices, whatever, they're little things that add up. And when I notice that it's working, it's in such small moments, and they could pass you by if you weren't aware. But I'm very, very self-aware. So for instance, a colleague of mine texted me something, and she was a little frustrated by the way I dealt with something in work. And she had written this, really long text and all these things about her thoughts. And right when I opened it, my previous reaction, like prior, maybe like even 2 months ago when I was not as into these little wellness habits that I've implemented, I would have went off on a spiral. My heart would have like started beating out of my chest. I would have had like a very physical nervous system, like fight or flight reaction. And I would have freaked out. I would have maybe started crying. I would have called a friend to be like, oh my God, she said this. I would have maybe gotten angry. Like all these things just from a micro little moment, like a little text, okay? And I noticed when I got the text, yes, it was yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I was totally in the wrong for that. And there are things that, she could have done better as well. And so I responded and I was so calm and I just said, I totally hear you. I'm going to do better next time. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for your honesty. In the future, it would be best if we did X, Y, Z. Like I couldn't believe how calm and how it just rolled off me. Another example was we posted memes for Camber from the Super Bowl, and a lot of other meme accounts were using this specific image, and we got a lot of backlash and a lot of messages and a lot of comments. And so we noticed that, and then we took down the slide of the meme with the image. And before I might have spiraled and would have thought, oh my God, we're such bad people, like how could we do this, and oh my God, people are gonna think that we're terrible. None of that. I just said, it happens. Okay, let's course correct and move on. And wow, to be in that state, I tell you, it is so worth it. It's so fucking worth it because things just don't take over your whole body and life as they used to. These little things that could trigger you just don't. They don't anymore. And I'm so grateful that I've arrived at that place. And again, I'm such a work in progress. Like that doesn't happen all the fucking time, but I've noticed in the past couple weeks that I've been a lot more regulated when little triggers and challenges like that come up. Whereas before I would have spiraled into oblivion. So this stuff works. I know it takes time and a lot of trial and error, but I promise you, once you figure out that perfect routine for yourself, actually, I don't want to even say perfect because it should be imperfect. It should be evolving and all these things, but you find something that really nourishes you, that sets you up for success for the day. And you'll find that all those little rituals compound into this beautiful life of yours. All right. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week.